What's good? It's your boy Hard 8, man. What is going on? Make sure y'all go check out my last video, Subs Get Roasted too. The link will be down in the description. Also check out the Facebook group, Tower Gamers, where opinions are respected. That link will also be down in the description. So, it's been a couple days. You know, I'm hoping that the, me going back to consoles has, blown over and that PC shit is over. We don't need to get back into that. Is it all right if I return to regular scheduled programming? Is it cool? Well, I then. So let's get up into this. This is going to be pretty much my opinion of the top 5 games of this year. This is going to be my opinion. Your opinion might be different. Now, my top 5 is not based on, any type of score or anything like that. It's not based on what's popular. It's pretty much based on what I like and what I found to be extremely good and, pretty much have a high fun factor. So that is pretty much what it's based on. There's no need to get upset. Your top 5 is probably different from mine. The only top 5 that matters is yours. You know what I mean? I'm just giving my opinion and we can go from there. You dig? So, without further ado, my number 5 top 5 game of the year is a couple of games. You know what I mean? I just couldn't really pick that number 5 game. So, any of these games that I'm about to name could be my number 5 and I would be cool with that. And that goes for God of War Ascension, Tomb Raider, Splinter Cell Blacklist, or BioShock Infinite. Now, 3 of those games had a wonderful single player, and in my opinion, bullshit multiplayer. Now, we know BioShock did not have a multiplayer, so of course you should figure out what game I'm talking about. But either one of those games could be my number 5, and I would be strictly fine with that. Splinter Cell was a great single player. The multiplayer, Tomb Raider was a great single player experience. I love the maturity about it. I love the adult theme about Tomb Raider for the first time. I really did enjoy it, and I had a shitty ass multiplayer. And of course, God of War, even though it wasn't the best of the God of Wars, it was still a great game. Even the worst God of War is still better than most of these games out there, which also had a shitty fucking multiplayer in my opinion. And then you have BioShock Infinite, which had a great story. A lot of people says this is their game of the year, but for me it was a good game, but it was a little overrated, but that's neither here nor there. So any of those games could be my top 5 and I will not argue with you. Now, number 4 goes to Batman Arkham Origins. Now, after this game came out, this just reassured me that you can never, ever listen to any of these reviewers on any of these fucking websites. Because if I was a person that listened to reviewers, I would have been missing out on a fantastic fucking game. Now, Batman Arkham Origins had a great story. It was more of the same greatness of Arkham City, but it was more of the same greatness in a good way, and it had a lot of things that were new to the series that gave it a fresh feel for me. I enjoyed the story. It was fucking great. I still can't believe that it has gotten scores as low as a 3 out of 10. That is a fucking joke in my opinion. Batman Origins is great. If you like Asylum or Arkham City, definitely do yourself a favor and pick this game up. Now, I know some people experience bugs and glitches and things like that, but for the most part, I had a very smooth experience. I even heard some Nintendo dickhead say that the PC version, the 360 and the PS3 version was pretty much unplayable. What? I don't think so. I had no trouble going through this game from beginning to end. So I don't know where that asshole got those fucking stats from. But typical Nintendo fag. Typical Nintendo fag. The game is great. Now, my number 3 game of the year goes to Battlefield 4. Now, I know Battlefield 4 has had a rocky start because fucking EA is greedy and they wanted to push the game out way ahead of time just so they can beat Call of Duty to the fucking market. But after so many patches and so many server updates, Battlefield 4 is a pretty much enjoyable experience now. I know a lot of people still got some issues. There's still a little issue with the netcode, but for the most part, it works. You know what I'm saying? And when Battlefield works, Battlefield is fucking great. I fucking love Battlefield, and once it started working and once it was in a playable form for me, it immediately shot to the list of my top games of the year. Can't wait to continue my Battlefield 4 journey on PlayStation 4 starting this weekend. So yes, Battlefield 4 is definitely my number 3, and I can see me playing that shit for until the next one. Pretty much until the next one, whenever that may be. The single player is not as bad as you might think. It's a lot better than Battlefield 3, and it has some pretty nice set pieces, man. I didn't beat it. I was at the chapter 5, but what I played so far was thoroughly enjoyable, and I heard that it gets a lot better. So it's not bad, and it's not the best single player ever, but we all know we get Battlefield for the single player, and the single player is fucking excellent. So that would be my number 3 game of the year. Now, this is where shit gets interesting. Now, choosing my number 1 and number 2 games were pretty fucking difficult. I actually had to think on this very hard, and I had to weigh all types of options and pros and cons to be able to come up with my number 1 and number 2. And it pretty much came down to the multiplayer of these 2 games. One of the multiplayer games I enjoyed, you know what I mean, to a certain extent. The other I never enjoyed. So that's pretty much what it came down to. And without furthermore, my number 2 game of the year is, drum roll please, Grand Theft Auto 5. Yes, Grand Theft Auto 5 is my number 2 game of the year. Now, in my opinion, the single player is a 10 out of 10 by itself. I love the single player. I love the new additions to Grand Theft Auto 5. I've been waiting for Grand Theft Auto 5 for the last 5 years, just like everybody else. And I had a ball. I thought the single player was great. It was just great storytelling. You know, they changed a lot of things that was wrong with GTA 4. The map was a lot bigger. The attention to detail was off the fucking Richter scale. It was great. I love it. Now, when it came to the multiplayer, complete fucking garbage. Don't like the multiplayer. Can't get into that multiplayer. Don't enjoy the multiplayer at all. And this is the reason how this game became my number 2 game of the year. But with that being said, Grand Theft Auto 5 single player is definitely great. And I can see me getting that again sometime down the road for a different platform. But that's neither here nor there. Grand Theft Auto 5 was definitely my number 2 game of the year. Now, number 1, you probably know. The Last of Us was number 1. That is my number 1 game of the year. Yes, The Last of Us. Story, 10 out of 10 by itself, in my opinion. The Last of Us was fucking... I love playing that single player. This is the first game in a long time that as soon as I finished the single player, I started over immediately. That has to be the first time I have done that in a long time. In a long time. Single player was fucking great. Now, as far as the multiplayer goes, in the beginning, I enjoyed the multiplayer. I thought it was great. But it got old very quick. That style of multiplayer for me got old very fast and boring very fast. It's to the point now where I can't even really play that shit. It's like, it's pretty boring to me. You know what I mean? But I did once enjoy it. That's why The Last of Us became my number one, because I never enjoyed that Grand Theft Auto abomination of a multiplayer. You understand what I'm saying? So The Last of Us is my number one game of the year. A lot of games this year, a lot of good games, man. This is my, opinion on my top 5 games of the year. Let me know what your top 5 games of the year is down in the comments section. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, then hit the dislike button. Also, if you're going to buy anything from Amazon, use the link down in the description. It'll be greatly appreciated. This your boy Hard 8, and I'm out. Deuces.
Hey! Hey! New shoes on the Range Rover, good for mine. Yeah, motherfuckers act like I